Sung Jin-Woo's power of continuous growth completely shook the entire world of solo leveling. The unique power caused him to go from this to this. In all seriousness, he went from a man who was struggling to survive in dungeons as the world's weakest hunter to the biggest Chad in manhwa history, who could make S-rank hunters shiver just from looking at him. I mean, look at Bear. He was the only one who could see through Jinwoo's growth with his beast vision, and he realized that he could just create his own one-man army and the world's top guild. But how did Jinwoo even gain his power to begin with? To understand that, we have to rewind when he first encountered a double dungeon in which he reawakened. However, unlike others who were blessed with immense power and gained a higher rank, he was still an E ranker when his strength was measured. Now, after Jinwoo ignored a warning from the system, he was transported into a desert and was forced to survive for hours whilst being chased by dangerous monsters. Because of this near-death experience, Jinwoo decided to complete the quests that were given to him, and he finally realized that he gained a unique ability that no other hunter had ever possessed: the power of continuous growth. Upon awakening, hunters are supposed to have a set power level. If you are an E rank, you will probably stay an E rank forever. In very few cases, you might be able to bump up a rank if you really work at it and get re-evaluated. But realistically, that's only an option for people who are on the edge of the next rank anyway. And unlike other humans who would be stuck in that same rank even after a double awakening, Jinwoo was built different. He could keep getting stronger. He had been reborn as not a hunter, but as a player, which gave him an experience system much like an RPG. By killing monsters or completing quests, Jinwoo can raise his stats. Specifically, each level up gives him a bonus point to the core 5 stats, which are strength, vitality, agility, intelligence, and sense. He can also gain free stat points that can be put anywhere he wants by completing his daily quests of 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and a 10-kilometer run. Wait a second, bruh. The man did Saitama's training, which proves why he can get so much stronger, am I right? But unlike Saitama, he didn't go bald. In fact, he became hotter the more powerful he got. I mean, look at this nurse. Jinwoo was emanating unspoken riz. Either way though, Jinwoo had a long way to go. We see him waking up in the hospital 3 days after the double dungeon, and he has his magic level tested by Mr. Woo, an inspector from the National Hunter Guild. Here, Jin is found to have a magic level of 10, and Mr. Woo states that even the lowest of E rank should have at least 70. My dude isn't just bottom rank, he is 7 times weaker than the weakest. But what he does have going for him though is that he has already experienced the worst of the worst. Nothing he comes across could possibly scare him as much as the Lord of the Double Dungeon. So in that sense, he is free to take on any challenge as he levels up. However, what does it take to go from the lowest of the low to having quite literally godly powers? Well, that's just what we are talking about today as we cover every time Jinwoo levels up throughout the series. Now look here, if you want to level up just like him and become a Chad, be sure to check the link in the description so you can hook yourself up with gamer subs and begin your own training arc with code ABD giving you 10% off. As for Jinwoo though, he reawakens in chapter 11 and enters an instant dungeon in the following chapter. Here, Sung Jin-Woo comes across a steel fang Raikan, basically a giant red wolf with a steel jaw. Jin tries to fight this monster off, and whilst he is definitely stronger and faster as a result of his daily quest, he is still unable to kill it. However, once he finds a sword in his inventory, he manages to finally take it out, earning him his first level up and bringing him to level 2. There would be no time to rest though, as Jin gets swarmed by a never-ending pack of wolves that just keep respawning, eventually even fighting monkeys and cats. He'd continue to grind here until he reached level 15 and believed himself ready to take on the dungeon boss, a massive snake, king of the swamp, Casca. By now, his sword was broken in half and nearly useless from killing all the monsters in the dungeon. And Casca is way too fast and strong to keep up with. However, thinking back to how much he despised himself for being weak, which led to others looking down on him, Jinwoo gains his resolve and states that his life would be wasted if he died here. So using pure grit and resolve that every standard shonen protagonist has, Jin grabs Casca and crushes its head with his bare hands, earning him 3 more levels. But not only that, he also gains a dagger made from the snake fangs, which has the bonus effect of inflicting paralysis. By level 18, Jin would start diversifying his stats instead of focusing on strength. He put a few points into sense and agility as well. This ends up being a life-saving decision, as when he joins Dong-suk's C-rank gate raid, he is able to sense that insects are about to swarm them and Dong-suk's betrayal. So even with the warning, Jinwoo and Jin-ho get sealed in the boss room of a C-rank gate, where they come face to face with a huge acid-spitting spider. Yeah, this thing was something out of your worst nightmare. Dong-suk, however, despite being a C-rank hunter, states that he wouldn't have been able to fight the boss alone. However, Jinwoo still decides to try. It is an extremely difficult fight that pushes him to his limit, but by utilizing a status recovery for a second win, he uses Casca's fang to bleed and paralyze the opponent. Jin ultimately takes the win and earns himself 3 more levels, bringing us to level 21. It's something to note here is that Jin needed a full heal and weapon skills to kill this spider mommy. So I'd say at this point, despite being able to beat a C-rank boss, he is still weaker than 1 overall, but his intellect gives him a boost. Soon after reaching level 21, Jinwoo would complete a hidden quest by doubling his daily goals for exercising and earns a key to an S-rank dungeon, the Demon Castle Gate. Here, he would come across the gatekeeper of hell, Cerberos. Unlike the spider, this dog was way stronger than Jinwoo, and to make matters worse, its skill is Rage, which allowed him to temporarily double its own stats and ignore all pain. Luckily, however, Jinwoo had his own trump card to play. He had recently consumed Casca's gland, which gave him a 20% boost to his own physical damage, and by making use of a well-timed status recovery, he managed to kill the Hellhound and earn 4 more levels, bringing him to level 25. Shortly after this, Jinwoo enters a dungeon with some old friends, Junhee and Song Chi-yul, who both comment how he's completely changed in appearance, which is of course thanks to the leveling system.
How does it feel to live my dream?
Even more difficult than Cerberos was the next opponent, Kang Tai-shik. Alright guys, these names are out of hand and I'm gonna mess up these names. Please forgive me. You know how it is, it's been 10 years.
In the beginning.
Now this dude was a B rank from the Hunter Association, sent to oversee things. However, he was secretly paid to kill one of the prisoners, and by extension, anyone who witnesses his crimes, killing them all. Mr. Song, the C ranker, is the first to fight him, and even with a buff from Junhee, he still can't match up to Kang. This ultimately leads to a brutal battle between Kang and Jinwoo. Again, just like Song, even with a buff from Junhee, Jinwoo is barely able to keep up with Kang, and this is made even worse when Kang uses his camouflage skill in order to gain the advantage. But by making use of Bloodlust, Jin manages to freeze the B ranker long enough to stab him with Casca's fang and apply paralysis plus bleed. This ultimately kills Kang and earns him the runestone containing the camouflage skill. Jinwoo winning this battle is absolutely insane, as it proves how far he's come. Just the fact of Mr. Song being no-diffed by Kang is big, as even though a C ranker, his swordsmanship was on an S rank hunter level, so beating Kang was no small feat. Between this battle, an easy fight occurs with the hobgoblin dungeon boss. Jin makes it up to level 27 at this point. Continuing the journey after this dungeon, Jinho and Jinwoo began clearing dungeons together, doing upwards of 4 entire C-rank dungeons alone each day, and he quickly reaches level 39, earning the critical attack and advanced dagger skills, whilst also improving his speed skill along the way. However, in chapter 36, Jinwoo finally reaches level 40 after clearing some dungeon monsters and earns the job change quest. When he enters the job change dungeon, he must face knights who are too sturdy for him to attack with his daggers, assassins who turn invisible, and archers and mages who attack him from range. But guess what? This is Sung Jin-Woo. They are light work for him as he farms them up until he hits level 45 and enters the boss room. Here, Jinwoo fights the knight commander, Igris the Red, who absolutely bodies him. However, through some quick thinking, he manages to absorb a would-be lethal blow with his gauntlet. Igris was on a completely different level to anything Jinwoo fought before, and the only reason he even ended up winning this battle is because he tricked Igris into not using his sword, or it would have been over for him. After this battle to the death, Jinwoo earned 2 more levels, bringing him to level 47. Now, guess what? This wasn't the true job chain quest, and Jinwoo is then thrown into a never-ending survival mission as swarms of knights and mages are sent at him. The longer he survives, the more amazing the class he earns will be. However, after fighting Igris, he is tapped out. But fear not, this is kinda like a shonen manhwa, right?
Of course!
So Plot is here to help. Just as Jinwoo is about to die, the timer on his daily quest expires and he is sent to the penalty zone. Here, Jinwoo can use potions to lower his fatigue and farm sand centipedes over the 4-hour penalty period in order to heal from level ups. Whilst here, Jinwoo climbs all the way to level 51 and rewards himself by buying a Night Slayer dagger from the item store. With these levels, revitalized stats, and a shiny new dagger in his hand, Jin manages to return to the dungeon and clears out all the enemies, earning himself the Necromancer class, as well as a promotion to Monarch of Shadows, giving him the ability to raise the dead and have them fight as his shadows by using one simple word: arise.
Let's go!
Yup, this moment was hype as hell, as he uses it on Igris, giving Jinwoo a humongous boost in power, as he later admits that even after ranking up more, he ain't even sure if he could beat Igris when he's using his blade.